Okay, this is going to be a really quick video on a Lafayette LMS-40. These are rather rare radios, and I don't know of any published modifications on these. So the customer wanted the clarifier unlocked on this. And I wanted to publish how to unlock it because, like I say, as far as I know, I don't think anything that's ever been published on this radio on how to unlock the clarifier. It's fairly simple. You don't need any parts other than a piece of wire and basically a soldering iron. On the schematic here, there are two adjustments. This VR right here, 801, that is the transmit, as the radio is from the factory. That's the internal adjustment for adjusting the transmit frequency. And then this VR 802 right here, that is your actual front panel clarifier, externally adjustable fine-tune. So what we want to do is disable this line right here. You can do one of two things. Either remove VR 801 or you can remove Diode D 801. So if we look down inside here, this is VR 801 and Diode D 801 is hiding underneath this little blue wire right here. So when the radio's with the components facing up, this mounting tab right here just comes straight out from it. So either D801 or VR801. Remove either one. You can, I don't like clipping parts, but if you prefer, you can just cut the lead on it. But like I say, you want to, by removing either one of these, that'll disable the transmit only circuit. Now on the other side, what we're going to do is, so we're looking at the back side now of the clarifier. Get the light swung around here a little bit. So on the top lead, you will see a black wire. That stays, that goes down to ground. So right here, that's the leg coming down to ground. You have the blue lead, that's going to stay on. And then on the bottom leg, you're going to find two orange wires and a resistor that goes in between these two controls. So what you're going to want to do is remove everything off of the bottom leg of this clarifier control. So both orange wires and that resistor are going to be removed, so it's empty. You're going to want to make sure that these two orange wires and that resistor stay tied together. So what you want to do is just basically remove them, slide a piece of heat shrink tubing over these two wires, solder the wires back onto that resistor, and then put the heat shrink tubing over it. So these two wires and that resistor stay tied together. Now you're going to want to take your extra piece of wire and attach it to that bottom terminal. And we're going to run that wire, flip the radio back around so it's front of the radio facing you, component side up. If you go back here to the relay, it's located pretty much in the center towards the rear of the radio. If we would look down here at the left hand side, you're going to see there's a violet wire, there's an empty hole. There's a pass-through. So this is a double-sided board, so there's a little pin in here that goes down to some traces down on the underside. Another empty hole, and then another pass-through. This pass-through pin right here, in between the two empty holes, you're going to take that wire that you just added to the control up here and attach it to that pin right there. So just, you can add a little bit of extra solder to that, stick your wire on there, and that's the one that will then go to the bottom leg on the clarifier control. Your clarifier is now unlocked and tied together for receive and transmit. So what you're doing is, when you remove all those two wires and resistor, you're basically removing everything off this side of the clarifier control, and you're then attaching it directly over here so it's tied full time to the voltage source. So, and that's pretty much it. Now you will need to realign your PLL. So you're going to need, to do this properly, you're going to need a frequency counter because you're going to need to be able to go in and do an alignment on the PLL circuits. But other than that, actually doing the unlocking procedure, that's all that's required. Remove two wires and a resistor, keep them tied together, remove either the variable resistor or diode, run a wire from down here to this pin right here, and you're done. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the modification, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so here we are back now. If we look down inside, you can see VR801 has been removed, which originally was the transmit only frequency adjustment, which disables the transmit only line. The other thing we needed to do was disable the receive only voltage that comes in to the clarifier, and that was removing the two orange wires, both here and here, and that resistor that went to the bottom clarifier control. They're now two wires go to that resistor. See it down in there. They're tied together with a piece of heat shrink tubing over it. There's a new wire has been added to the bottom clarifier control. That's this red wire. And then that comes back here beside the relay and attaches to that pass-through pin point right to the left-hand side of the relay in between the two empty holes. The clarifier transmit and receive are now locked together. So like I say, other than that, the only thing you'll need to do is a PLL alignment on this, and you will have a unlocked clarifier in your Lafayette LMS-40 radio. So, like I say, I hadn't seen any published modifications on how to do this, so stuff like this, it's kind of a secret. I like to try and, get something out there in case anybody ever runs into these. I know these are extremely rare radios. You really don't see a lot of these. So, that's how you do it.